Look at the sheer scale of this front end. It features a massive custom grille, a lowered stance, and wide-body proportions built for street presence. But underneath that aggressive shell sits a Toyota frame. That is a lineage built on decades of surviving the harshest environments on Earth. That creates an immediate physical tension. You have a chassis engineered to flex over boulders, wearing a suit tailored exclusively for smooth asphalt. The question is whether modifying a reliable family hauler for maximum status gives you the ultimate daily driver, or if it just strips away the utility that made the platform good in the first place. You are looking at the exact intersection of what we want a vehicle to look like, fighting against what it was mechanically built to do. This comparison shows where the geometry shifts. The wide body kit pushes track width outward, while lowered suspension and front extensions reduce ground clearance. Next is the contact patch. Thick factory sidewalls are gone, replaced by heavy 22-inch rims and thin performance rubber. These specific geometric changes pull the vehicle out of the utilitarian tool category and place it directly into the crosshairs of the high-status luxury market. It is now competing in a six-figure bracket against factory-built European status symbols that have dominated this specific boxy aesthetic for decades. If you are going to strip away the inherent mechanical utility of a reliable platform, the resulting street experience has to be phenomenal to justify the cost. Let's look closely at the first major input. The build adds significant material to the lower half, a heavy front lip, deep side skirts, and a restrictive rear diffuser. On the pavement, this achieves exactly what it sets out to do. It delivers an imposing street presence and slices through the air slightly better at highway speeds. Social media edits often pair aggressive builds like this with fantasies of effortlessly drifting through endless desert dunes. This chart plots the vehicle's shift in utility. Dropping the bumper ruins the approach, breakover, and departure angles needed for uneven terrain. Take this fiberglass over a rocky trail, and the first moderate dip will shatter the bodywork instantly. The aero kit is a physical contract. You sign away your right to leave the asphalt. The second major input is the wheel setup. Swapping factory wheels for heavy 22-inch custom alloys wrapped in thin street tires. On perfectly maintained roads, the wider track and stiff sidewalls give you sharp, immediate steering response and keep the heavy chassis flat through corners. We are conditioned to expect rugged 4x4s to easily chew their way through deep, unpredictable mud and thick brush. But a tire sidewall is a suspension component. Removing that rubber volume takes away the primary physical cushion designed to absorb harsh impacts. Hit a standard urban pothole, and the impact transfers directly into the cabin. Cross wet dirt, and the smooth tread iron immediately packs with mud and loses all traction. You trade the ability to absorb the unknown for the ability to strictly grip the predictable. The final input happens inside, a comprehensive bespoke overhaul swapping factory materials for custom leather upholstery and integrated ambient lighting. The goal is to lift a historically durable, practical Japanese cabin up to the visual standards of premium European marquees. Legacy European brands have spent decades standardizing the exact layout, materials, and ergonomics of high-end luxury environments straight from the factory. Matching that level of finish in an aftermarket shop requires a massive upfront capital expenditure. This line chart illustrates how modifications affect resale value. While a factory stock luxury SUV follows a standard depreciation curve, highly personalized aftermarket interiors yield a notoriously poor return. The secondary market favors unmodified vehicles over specific personal tastes. You pay for the experience while you own it, but you should not expect the next buyer to reimburse you for the privilege. The result is a deliberate engineering paradox. It relies on a proven off-road skeleton strictly to support the weight of a bespoke street suit. If you are the overland buyer who measures value by how far off the grid you can travel, you should skip this build entirely. The specific aesthetic modifications applied here strip away the mechanical clearances required to navigate a trail. But if you are the urban buyer whose primary concern is aesthetic impact, this makes a lot of sense. You secure the aggressive visual dominance of a six-figure European SUV, backed by a platform that won't saddle you with European maintenance bills. This decision tree maps the logic. First question, do you require weekend trail capability? If yes, stick to stock. If no, move down. From there, Weigh your tolerance for a stiff ride against your desire for unique street presence. If presence wins, commission the build. The trap is assuming any single vehicle can do everything perfectly just because an online edit makes it look easy. Heavy modifications force physical trade-offs in ride quality, capability, and long-term financial return. You have to be completely honest about the exact environment you drive in before writing a check for a custom build. If your route consists entirely of smooth pavement, this build dominates exactly